Big, incredible, great news about your third stimulus check on a Tuesday afternoon. Jerome Powell comes out in favor of your stimulus, says we're not facing inflationary concerns, says that interest rates are not a concern, and says we need more stimulus right away. This could signal not just a third stimulus check and a fourth stimulus check, but a fifth. I have all the details for you coming up as well. Meantime, will you qualify for a third stimulus check? Details about the income qualifications are explained in this video. Great news then about the vaccine. Johnson & Johnson announces a major roll-off of their vaccination doses. Then, over at the White House, major news announced by the Biden administration minutes ago about new shipments to states that could impact your stimulus. Hazard pay is being paid then in one major big box retailer. I have that details of war. And then California, you're getting a stimulus check. How soon? And additionally, a new surprise about a business grant. A lot of great details, a lot of big news, all about your stimulus. It's third stimulus, it's second stimulus, it's stimulus for everyone. It's Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Afternoons LALATE. How are you? The toast was toasting this morning and the butter is buttering, but I'm back here with Afternoons LALATE with a triple header this afternoon. I'm so glad you joined me. There's this show, then I'm back with you with Purple about 15 minutes after this recording, and then live with What the Chuck at about 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Thank you for joining me on our modified set as we get ready for the new LALATE as it rolls out shortly. So thank you for your kind wishes and continue to extend your wishes and prayers to Tiger Woods, who is doing well and recovering well this afternoon. Thank you for tuning in for that coverage earlier today. In this recording, I have a lot to get to, but first, make sure you subscribe. Why have you not subscribed? Come on already. This channel has now made broadcast history, put itself in the history books for broadcast history. 100 million views in 9 months we reached earlier this week. What an incredible achievement. Thank you for becoming part of this family. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're publicly subscribed so I can see your subscriber. And also like this video. It helps in the algorithm rankings, and we're finally starting to improve after about 4 weeks of bad algorithm rankings. The liking really does help. And finally, if you want to become a member, please do, because members get access to the documents in the third stimulus package before everyone else, and ensures that you pounce for the money because it's first come, first serve. I have a lot of details in this recording, and boy, it is a jam-packed day on stimulus. And without a delay, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that, first, Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, and the single most important economist in the country, came out and said, don't worry, the economy is not on rebound. The economy is not growing like you think it's growing. The economy is not facing inflation like you think it is. You need more stimulus, and this is not necessarily the only stimulus package. If you've just joined this channel, let me give you a recap where we are on the third stimulus package before I get more into Powell's comments today. The third stimulus package will be called for a vote in the House of Representatives this week. It will pass. It will pass because the Democrats control the vote. The Republicans this afternoon were already talking about how they don't like things. It doesn't make much of a difference because the bill will pass because the number of votes are dominated by the Democrats. The bill will then go to the Senate on Monday approximately next week, and then the Senate will battle over it. There are some Senate Democrats who have vowed to vote against the bill, not to block its passage, but to get modified. This is great news for you as the Purple Power family, because that's the opportunity for you to go bigger and bolder on the items. What are the items? Every viewer of this channel who makes less than about 50 or $60,000 less or less per year individual qualifies for about 5 items in the third stimulus package, of which the first one is automatic, a $1,400 stimulus check for everyone. And then the other 4 items are not automatic, but you can get them. And the totality of them is about $5,000 to $10,000. There is $5,000 to $10,000 in there for every viewer of this channel under that income level. They are rent, utilities, food, which is SNAP, and also internet, in addition to the $14 stimulus check. More about those details in a second. There are other items in the third stimulus package which you can also get if you have that situation going on in your life. If you have children, doesn't matter if you're it doesn't matter if you're employed or not employed, doesn't matter if you're on benefits or not on benefits. If you have children, you will get $3,600 for a child 5 years or younger. If you are a parent of a child 17 to age 6, you will get $3,000 additionally for that child. That's on top of that child's $1,400 stimulus check, of course. Then if you're a hazard pay worker, you'll get $1,500 for your work if you made less than $25,000 last year. If you're a business owner, you'll get a $5,000 EIDL grant. If you are a individual who has has issues about rent, you get rent, food, you can get rent for low income, middle class, homeless rent, and mortgage assistance. And if you're an individual who has to stay home because of the pandemic, you can get paid sick leave up to $1,400 a week. So you see there's a lot of items in that third stimulus package, and that's just a broad stroke of them that gives you a lot of relief. Well, ultimately, some of the items can go bigger and bolder. And should they? They should. Today, Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, said, I don't know what's going on with you folks, but the economy is not what you think it is. I loved it. Let me explain what's going on. In the last few days, the bond market, which are private people, have been trading up the bond market. It's been going up. Interest rates have been going up. What have they been talking about? They've been talking about how great the economy is doing, how much growth is in the economy, how we're on a real trajectory to grow very fast, how inflation's about to kick in and cause things to go through the roof. Jerome Powell today came and said, your economics are all wrong. You're wrong. Sorry, you're wrong. First, he said long-term unemployment economic numbers that the Federal Reserve is looking at is inflation over a 1-year period. He says our benchmark at the Federal Reserve is a 2% inflation rate. He says we're not even near that. What are you talking about? Yeah, you see things going up a little bit, but that doesn't mean they're going to continue to go up. They were down during the pandemic. He says they're not heading anywhere towards 2% inflation. So stay calm. Number 2, he said, yeah, I see interest rates are going up. That doesn't mean much of anything. He says we still need more stimulus. And finally, he made the very important message, which I was glad he did, which is you do not have broad economic recovery. He basically says, George, at the corner, you're talking about your buddy Fred that has that condo development he's doing. Fred's doing really well in his condo development. But your neighbor down the street, the single mom who's trying to put food on the table for her 2 kids and does Uber and Lyft, she's struggling. That's the separation of the U.S. economy. He calls it economic disparity. He says the housing market's through the roof. It's doing really, really well. But people who make less than $45,000 are not doing well. Long-term unemployment is systematic and continuing, and that means we need more stimulus. So with that, he says we need a lot more stimulus in this economy. We have a lot of significant imprint on inflation, but following the large declines, we're committed to using a full range of our tools to support this economy and help ensure that the recovery from this difficult period will be as robust as possible. The economy's a long way from our employment and inflation goals, and it's likely to take some time for substantial further growth to be progress to be achieved. Bottom line is, we're on third stimulus. There will be a fourth. We already know that from the president. Well, there likely will have to be a fifth because the unemployment numbers are not good for the lower income part of the community. All right, let's turn now to stimulus. A new report out today explains clarity about whether or not you qualify for the third stimulus check. What you want to do is you want to look at line 11 of your 2020 tax return and see if on line 11 what your AGI is, a gross adjusted gross income. If you look at 2019 tax return, it's line 8B, because that's ultimately what determines whether you get a stimulus check or not the net income on the tax return. Elsewhere, let's turn to Johnson & Johnson, making major news today, announcing that it's ready to deliver 20 million doses of its single-shot COVID vaccine by the end of March. This is huge. And this was amidst a statement released by its VP today. Assuming necessary regulatory approvals, our plans begin shipping immediately upon immediate Earth authorization, and deliver it to the end of March to enable the vaccination of more than 20 million Americans. This is incredible, great news. Elsewhere, let's turn to the White House. The White House remains on message about a lot of things. Ultimately, the White House is battling certain things for stimulus. There are several Democrats in the Senate who are pushing back with the president. They are Ron Wyden, who wants more FPUC. Under the third stimulus package, Ron Wyden is unhappy, as I am, of course. FPUC under the third stimulus package is $400 a week and says $600 a week. He doesn't like that. Number two, he doesn't like that FPUC, UI, and PUA are extended from March to August and expire in August again, meaning they got to do another bill in June, which means they got to start like tomorrow on that bill. He says, no, we don't need to keep on doing bills every 10 seconds. Tie it to economic data. Number three, Joe Biden's been pushing back and continues to push back about the $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness standalone bill. That $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness bill says he's not going to do it. He'll do 10 and he won't change. Now, let's cut back to the stimulus package items before I get to the big news out of the White House today. What I want you to understand is that under the third stimulus package, you get those 5 items. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security or railroad benefits, and you're unhappy thinking that someone has forgotten about you, or you're waiting for that FPUC retro to be brought out, be said by the President of the United States for the first time since he said it in November, or you're someone sitting back and wondering, why won't someone finally say, give me a full $10,000 EIDL? What is this $5,000 EIDL? Ultimately, this channel has a very clear message. Advocacy is power. But in the same regard, sitting around and ranting gets you nowhere. There's a very big commercial for one electronic trading company that says, don't get angry, get even. That's my message to you as well. Don't get angry and do nothing and just fester about it. Get even. The way you get even is get the big money in the third stimulus package. Get the rent, the utilities, the food, and the internet on top of your stimulus check because you qualify for it. And get even and say, you know what? I'm going to push to get you to give me that FPC retro, but if you don't, I'm still going to get the rest of the stuff because LA's going to show me how, and I'm going to get $5,000 to $10,000 in the third stimulus package because I am owed that. I don't want you to walk away from money that's available for you. In the video right after this, I explain how you can get that money right now as well. All right, next, doses. Big news out of the White House. The White House has announced that it will now supply states 14.5 million doses of the vaccine per week. This is huge. The White House's press secretary said in a statement today that after a call with the governors today, Biden's chief COVID coordinator, Jeff Zients, announced that there's going to be a 5th increase of vaccine doses. States will now get 14.5 million doses per week, up from 8.6 the week before, up from 8.6 when the president took office. This is so, if you've been following me, we were at 8.6 a week, then we were at 13.5 a week, now we're at 14.5 a week. Really great news. Else, let's turn to hazard pay. Big news as one other major big box retailer is confirming they're paying hazard pay. Who is that? That's Best Buy. Best Buy will be paying hazard pay. Of course, they're not calling it hazard pay. They're calling it pandemic-related bonuses for hourly workers. And this will start effective immediately. It's not quite sure how much the bonuses will be. In California, great news, you're getting a stimulus check. The $600 stimulus check detailed earlier this week on the channel did become law today. Gavin Newsom, governor of California, issued the new statement. The backbone of our economy is small businesses. We recognize the stress and the strain on so many small businesses we've been underneath, and we recognize our responsibility to do more and help these people. So you're going to get a $600 stimulus check if you made less than $30,000 on your tax return. It appears that it may go off the 2019 tax return currently, unless you've already filed your 2020. So that's $600 stimulus check. And that's in addition to the $1,400 third stimulus check. Other states like Maryland just sent out one as well. I will be detailing to you every state that is announcing a stimulus check across the board. But then there's more. Gavin Newsom also confirmed that there's going to be business grants for small businesses as well. He announced that in November, well, first of all, in November, he had a $500 million business grant for small businesses. And got 334,000 applicants and paid more than totaling $4.4 billion of requests. So they could barely even fill 1 out of 20 people that applied. But just this week, he announced that there'll be $2 billion put into that program so that businesses with annual revenues between $1,000 and $2.5 million can get that, with priority for businesses run by women, minorities, and businesses in high unemployment rate neighborhoods. Great news. And the other great news is I'm back with you in just a few minutes. Are you going to join me? I hope you are, because in that video I show how you get money right now. Money right now, not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, but money right now. $5, $10, $15,000. I hope you tune in. It's Purple. It's the Big Hit Show, and it's back on this channel, and you're loving it, and I'm loving having it back here as well. So make sure you subscribe. Go to the front channel, subscribe. Also, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and join me next on Purple.